I grew up with a grandfather that was a God-fearing man. And I thank God, looking back, and I've told my mama this when my daddy passed away, a few years ago. I told my mama and my little sister, we were talking about it and talking about different things. And, I learned everything not to do as a father from my daddy, but I learned everything to do right about being a father from my granddaddy and my uncle. And it's worked out okay, because I could have been a lot different.
Well,
I think.
You mentioned that there was some scripture that I wanted to go over, but you said your grandfather was a God-fearing man.
Yes.
And that ties right into what I wanted to talk about in Deuteronomy 6.
Okay.
So in Deuteronomy 6 starts out and it says, I'm just going to skip. I'll start at verse 1. So now this is the commandment, the statutes, and the rules that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land to which you are going over to possess it, that you may fear the Lord your God, you and your son and your son's son, by keeping all his statutes and commandments which I have commanded you all the days of your life, that you may that your days may be long. And then if you skip down a couple verses to I think it's verse 7, it says, "You shall teach them." It's talking about the commands. "You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise."
Yeah.
So you said your grandfather was a God-fearing man.
Yes.
Like, that's something, according to Deuteronomy, that the fear of the Lord should be passed down from father to son, father to daughter,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
And then this is one thing that I think I told you. I asked Lala one after one sermon that Efton preached. We're in the truck, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think I get it wrong? Being a dad, and what do you think I get it right?" And one of the things she said she thinks that I get right at, and I already shared this with you, is that every conversation that I have with my kids, whatever it is, I don't care if we're talking about the sun, the moon, the stars, the green grass. In infantry, we were told the green grass goes because of the blood, but
Yeah. Right.
not everybody is infantry.
Yeah.
But I always try to tie the conversation back to the Bible, back to God, and help them to try to understand the biblical view that we're supposed to have, not the world view that we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And I was like, she was like, she's like, "You get that part right, Daddy. This is the part you get right."
Yeah.
The other thing we'll talk about a little later
Right.
that I get wrong.
Right.
But anyway, I find that really cool that you said your grandfather was a God-fearing
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And it's funny that the scriptures went that way, because my grandfather, well, the uncle that I'm talking about is his son, and then at the time where I was probably most impressionable and the most, the most
teachable, moldable.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's the kind of what I'm looking for. That's who I was with. I was with my granddaddy and my uncle. My granddaddy was a farmer,